So good
Great.
morning, everyone. My name is Lee Chips Walton. I work with the Division of Current Adult Education, and am very excited to be introducing Dr. Lisa Martino. She's going to be speaking on CTE leadership, a topic that is incredibly relevant and something that we specifically wanted to provide professional development on. So let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Martino. She has over 14 years of experience in career and technical education, has been a CTE teacher educator since 2012. Dr. Martino has earned her BS and MA in career and technical education and her PhD in career and workforce education. Currently, she is lecturer and academic program coordinator for the CTE bachelor's degree and master's degree at the University of Central Florida. She conducts research, speaks, and publishes on CTE teacher education, and she is the 2019 ECMC Foundation / NC State CTE Post-Secondary Research Fellow and the 2020 ACTE Experience Leadership Fellowship Awardee. For more information, she can be reached at lisa.martino@ucf.edu. Thanks so much.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here, guys, and I have a lot of information to get through. And so we're going to learn a little bit about CTE leadership. We're going to learn about leadership and organizational theory as a whole, and then we're going to talk about how we can apply that to CTE. And so here we go. So choosing to be a leader is important, but what kind of leader is going to basically change the way you work and relate to each other in a workplace. So I like this Albert Einstein quote: "The led must not be compelled; they must be able to choose their own leader." So how do you get your workers, employees, staff to choose you, and will they choose you? So I know Lee gave me a great introduction, but I'm talking about leadership skills and the types of things you do. Leaders are not just directors and deans and such. A teacher is a leader. You lead your classroom. You are in charge of the lesson planning and how the lessons go. You are in charge of maintaining management and grades and whatnot. So a teacher is a leader. Coordinator is a leader. Program manager, all kinds of different things that you wouldn't think of. They are leaders. In my role, I am the academic advisor. I'm a lecturer. I train. I am the teacher educator. I do research. I am the program coordinator. I do all those things with reporting and whatnot and organization. I schedule courses and adjuncts, the online course manager. I develop the curriculum. Lots of hats go into being a leader. There are also other things on here that can fit on there. But, as anybody who works in the field and has that kind of role where they're doing a bunch of different things, you are also a leader. So thinking about that, let's continue on about how you could strengthen your leadership skills. So first we're going to talk about what is a leader, and we're going to talk about some types and duties and styles. Then we're going to get deep into some theories. We're going to talk about some categories and theories and structures. We're going to talk about visions and mission statements, which is actually really important just as a guideline to be consistency is key. So those things are going to bring you consistency in the workplace. And then so purpose and alignment and some examples, and then we're going to do some questions and discussions. I'm going to pause a couple of times and have you guys talk in the chat, and you could certainly go ahead and ask questions in there. So when I pause, I'll look through them and then see if you need anything, and we'll discuss what we just talked about. Okay. So first off, leadership types and duties. Now, CTE has different words for these things. We have coordinators, and we have directors, and we have executive directors, and we have sometimes deans. So they're a little bit different, but they are grouped in some things. And so sometimes when you're a leader, you may have to do all of these things because you're the only one. But sometimes you have a bigger organization and there are other people along the leadership pathway. So usually a manager would be like a program coordinator, where you are locally in charge of your own program, and you handle day-to-day activities and responsibilities. And so that's a manager, that's a leader. The supervisor leader, you can think of as like a principal in a high school, or a director. You can have that type of role, and a supervisor would be over a grouping of programs, and they would have evaluative types of duties, and they would report. They may do some funding, budgets. They may do those types of things for a group of programs that have more than one teacher. And then you have the administrator, and administrator in CTE would be an executive director or a dean, and they are in charge of making policies, understanding legislation that has to do with CTE. They would have to do, there would be grant writing, connections to the community, more outreaching type things. They would have to do reporting to stakeholders, such as school boards and the Florida DOE. They would have those types of duties and activities. So really thinking about the different roles and where you stand in there, or where you want to be, where you want to be in that leadership role. So those are types of different types and duties. But again, each institution, depending on the type of institution, the size of the institution, you may have to do one or more crossover. But that gives you an idea of how they're listed in the general population. So I put another, John Maxwell is a big leadership guru, and he has many, many, many books on leadership. And I like this one because it's the why you lead and the way you lead are important. They define you, your leadership, and ultimately your contribution. So thinking about leadership and the importance it is in your field, in your job, you want to have some kind of guideline and have an understanding of who it is you want to be and what it is you want to do. So these things are very important. So leadership styles. Okay, so this is a big one. I'm going to go, and I decide there are many, okay, but I wanted to talk about these a little bit, and really I'm just talking about the main ones here, okay? So then we'll talk about the current ones. So they all kind of are based on these, and you'll see that if you look up, do a Google search on leadership styles, you'll see all these other things, and they kind of say the same thing. So that's why I wanted to get to the roots of it. So we have the Friedlander and Ward in 1984 divided it into attractive, interpersonally sensitive, and task-oriented. So these are the three types of supervisory styles according to them. The attractive supervisor sees themselves as warm, supporting, friendly, and open. The interpersonally sensitive, it's just a strange title for me, thinks of themselves as invested, committed, therapeutic, and perceptive. And then finally, the task-oriented supervisor is goal-centered, thorough, focused, practical, and structured. Okay, so you can see how this would be very warm and open, and this probably would be good if it was a smaller type school or position or institution, and you are, one or two people in an office. I would see that happening. Interpersonal would be a little bit bigger. I'm seeing these in more of small, medium, large type of institutions where you can choose these leadership styles. And you can also, leadership styles isn't like you have to stay in this one area. You can pick and choose when you need to have these types of skill sets, right? So you can be a little bit more flexible, is what I'm saying. You don't have to stay in one of these, but these are the guidelines here. Now, this one from Lewin, Lippitt, and White from 1939. So they said that the autocratic leader tends to make decisions in a vacuum, meaning that they rarely show employees to make their own decision. They rarely allow employees to make their own decisions. This leader also does not consult with others. Many see this style as a dictator. As you might already surmise, the autocratic style creates the highest level of discomfort among employees. So that's the autocratic leader. The democratic leader is the exact opposite of the autocratic leadership style, characterized by group and or participant decision making. So although preferably to the autocratic style, this style can have its own set of problems. Sometimes decisions must be made quickly and without consultation. So the democratic leader mustn't fall into the trap of making all decisions by a team, because sometimes as a leader you have to make those decisions on the cuff. So that's the democratic leader. And the laissez-faire leadership is also known as delegation or hands-off leadership. So this type of leader allows employees great decision-making latitude with little to no direct supervision. This works well when employees are highly skilled and motivated and mature. If these attributes are not present, the whole system can collapse. So it also causes employees to feel frustrated with the lack of direction. So thinking about how do these fall into areas where you could use those styles, those skill sets? You could sometimes let your employees make their own decisions when, if it benefits the institution. So there are ways to use these skills in a more flexible way, understanding the differences of them and how they are separated, but how they could be used interchangeably. Okay, let's look at this one. So these are the leadership styles that have been talked about now. Okay, so now we have coercive, authoritative, affiliative. I'm probably not saying that right. Affiliative, yeah. Democratic, pace setting, and coaching. And these were developed by Goleman in 2000. It is the largest cited theorist on leadership styles. So these are the big six. Okay. So again, you may see some of these styles that were previously discussed in the past ones. So coercive is demand immediate compliance. This could be probably authoritative. And this is also authoritative. So he kind of split those two, mobilized towards a vision, which was interesting how he said that this was mobilized towards a vision as authoritative. But if it's just a one type of tunnel type of vision where there's something that has to be done, this could be something that you could use. Affiliative creates emotional bonds and harmony. So that's when he wants or she wants more cohesive bonding going on in the teams. A democratic style is also the same as we had last, and that's built consensus through participation. So letting teams and employees make decisions on their own. And pace setting expects excellence and self-direction. Again, that sounds familiar, right? So these are all just basically new ways of rewording what was done in the past, I think. And then coaching is develop people for the future. So that would be more mentorship, like if you were the faculty developer or the curriculum trainer, that would be more of your leadership style. You would be in the coaching area. Pace setting would be someone who has to evaluate, because you're looking for excellence and self-direction. So in my mind, that would be evaluative. And then, this is the teams making decisions. And if you have a team or multiple teams on different projects and you have a leader, I can see where this can be easily used. So again, leadership styles, and they are basically have purposes, and you could interchange them when you need to. So thinking about those, jot down which one you like, because we're going to talk about it a little bit. So we have, I'm going to go back to this one again so you remember. So leadership styles of the past. We have autocratic, democratic, and laissez-faire. And then we have the attractive, interpersonally, sensitive, and task-oriented. So I want you guys to all get ready to type in the chat. And then we have coercive, authoritative, affiliative, democratic, pace setting, and coaching. Okay, guys. So now we're just going to stop there. I want you to enter your preferred style in the chat box and let me know what you think would work best in CTE and why. So just a quick little note. I'm going to go back, pace setting, and then, well, okay, Thomas, let me know why. So just looking at it again, I'm going to give you the screen. Alexandra likes coaching and pace setting, but it's very easy for her to fall into the authoritative mode. It's so true for teachers, right? We do, because we're the ones standing there, but we have to think student-centered sometimes. I think that teacher-centered, authoritative teaching and whatnot is necessary in some instances. I don't think it should be totally taken away from us. I think it's not always about student-centered. I think sometimes you do have to have that teacher-centered. So I think it's okay. Daniel said, let's go fast now. Hang on. Can't see this all. You guys are on top of it. I'm going to wait for it to stop scrolling so I can see what you're saying here. Democratic is great for CTE because there's such a wide range of CTE programs. That's true. That's true. Affiliative because my role, she has many subject matter experts in varied disciplines. I often find myself trying to adjust to their experience. Interesting. CTE programs that you cannot be an expert in, so you need to rely upon experts. Very interesting. I like that, Karen. When you have the group buy-in, yeah. Authoritative, towards a unified goal with coaching a team to work within that goal. Oh, that's interesting. I like that combination. Yes, definitely, Angela. The combination of different styles is preferred. Frank says the democratic because it is critical that we work together as one team so that we move students towards their career interests. That's true. Pace setting with a minor in coaching. Good one, Jared. As a chef, sometimes you have to be authoritative. I see that. I see that. Works best. I think you said something above there. Pace setting because I'm a task-oriented person. Coaching because I enjoy helping people develop. Coaching. I like coaching. Oh, coaching has the it seems like to be the most favorite one so far. Okay, affiliative, pace setting. Okay, looks like we've got coaching and pace set. Let's see, coaching, pace setting, democratic, authoritative, pace setting, democratic, combination, authoritative, democratic, affiliative. Yep, depending on the situation. Coaching. Interesting. Coaching and pace setting. I assume people can do their job and coach if they cannot. Very good. Democratic and coaching. We have a great team that we work through things, and we can have some great mentors for coaching. Absolutely developing. CTE, I think it needs a combination of coaching, pace setting, and affiliative, especially if you're teaching adults. Buy-in is very important. Very good. Democratic and pace setting. I think it's important for all parties to have input. Very good. Coaching is great. Okay, pace setting. Pace setting. It looks like we have coaching, pace setting, democratic, very little, a couple of authoritative, and affiliative. Very interesting. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, guys, good job. So we're going to go on to the next section and talk about organizational management theory. Now, there are 3 areas of organizational management theory. So we're going to talk about the beginning is the classical perspective. And this was done way, way back in 1909 with the scientific management theory or model. In this model, every task must be effective, no matter how small, and you monitor and train. So what Winslow wanted to do is, like, every piece was important, but they had to do their job and work together like a clock. Like, it was very structured, right? The Weber in 1922 was a developed bureaucratic model. Now, he agreed with Winslow, but he said the structure was vital. The organizational structure was vital. And he outlined 14 principles. And then Fayol developed the administrative model in 1916. So really around the same time there, companies, objectives, division of labor, and importance of human emotion. So he's the first one that added the human perspective in there, but he is still considered a foundation in classical perspective. Now, what's interesting is, do you notice the timeline of these? Type in the chat box, if you understand the significance of this timeline in the history, why all of a sudden we had to have organization management theory, if you think about it. I'll keep going because I want you to think about that. So this was an article, and I have all the references at the end of this document, so you can go look at yourself. Very good, Alexandra. Industrial Revolution. Absolutely, that's right, and they were all based on Taylor. That's right. Working place has changed due to the Industrial Revolution. You guys are smart, but that's what happened. So these big things that happen in our history do show its way through theories coming up and research and legislation and all those things. Those are big events in our history that change the way we think. So this is what happens. Very good. So smart. Okay, neoclassical perspective. So this one, oops, I didn't put the years on that. Can't remember what they were, but you can look at the document to find out, but they were a little bit later, of course, because they're neoclassical. So we had the human relations school, and it evolved into the behavior school. And that's where these came out of. The individual, where focus was the Hawthorne study. The individual, you had to think of the social and economic factors of the individual employee. The work group, so they were starting to talk about teams and the synergetic benefits of good, healthy working teams. And participative management, where workers actually negotiate with the management, because before it was like you just had to do what they say. It was very authoritative. So the neoclassical perspective brought in the more human emotions and the relationships basically between the worker and the manager. So that's where that started to happen, and that's the Hawthorne study. You can check that out. But that basically the theory said that the best work environments increases productivity. So it's best if you implement these strategies, because you will get more loyalty, more productivity, and more motivation from your employees. So that's where that came in. And then here we are to systems theory. Now this is the modern style where we are going past the individuals and we're going past the authoritative. We're talking about systems within an organization. So Bernard in 1938, he's basically came up with cooperative systems, making systems process and the decision making. The organization is an open system of interrelated and interdepartmental parts. So it's not just the employer here and the manager here, it's the system within the systems. Burton Niffy developed the general systems theory. He was actually a biologist, but people realized that his theory on general systems applied very well to organizations, very big, complicated organizations. So people actually used that and applied it there. So basically he said that the body is the sum of its parts. And then McGregor in the 1960s developed the X and the Y management theory, where X was micromanagement, where if you are a person that has to control everything, that would be the micromanager. And then the motivational manager would be someone who can trust their groups and their teams and their systems within their control, and they could be a little bit more flexible. So those are the systems theories. There's a whole bunch more, guys. I mean, if you go out there and you just look at organizational theory, organizational management theory, you will see like, I don't know, dozens of them. But these are the main ones, I think, in my opinion, that really were the jumping point from all these little other outliers. So you'll see that the systems and the way you apply a theory to how you manage your workforce or even your own job is very important to understanding what you're going to get out of it, right? So again, I'm going to ask you to think about the organizational theories that I just discussed and post in there about your best one. Let me know what you think is your preferred organizational theory and what you think, how it applies to CTE and why. And so I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at these. So we have cooperative systems, general systems theory, body is the sum of its parts, and X and Y management theory, micromanage versus motivation. I'm going to give you a minute on that screen to write down the ones that you think would work. In your organization, thinking about a CTE school or a program, how you make decisions. Are you the only one in charge of it? Would these work for you and why? Do you work on a team with a curriculum specialist and some faculty, program coordinator, an assistant? Do you all have to make the same, the same decisions? Do you have to have each one in their silo but working together? That's a systems theory. Cooperative systems. Cooperative systems working with industry to advise the curriculum. That's true. You do have to get advisory boards for CTE programs. Excellent. And then general systems, bodies, some of its parts, motivational and cooperative. Yeah, that's a good combination. Okay. Anybody else? Do you want me to go to the other one? I could, I missed Christopher. Christopher said general systems theory within the CTE department. Every person oversees a different aspect of CTE that must all work together towards a common goal. Yeah, that's a good one. Good one. Let's see. Cooperative to get buy-in from other stakeholders and decision makers. I use this with CTE teacher certification pathways at St. Petersburg College. Very good. Excellent. And then Cindy said motivational and cooperative. Cooperative systems tend to work well in every aspect of my leadership. Excellent. Cooperative systems. So now that you know about this, you could go ahead and look deeper into his cooperative systems theory and see what else you can find out that can help you guide your practice a bit more. It's really great when you look at theories and you say, hey, I've already been doing that. But to give it a name and then to understand the parts of it, the parts of the theory, can really help guide you going forward. Working together towards the same goal, right? Cooperative systems. There are many players and stakeholders in CTE. Excellent. That is very true. We are very different from other programs, aren't we? So let me go back to this one. Does anyone think any of these would work? It looks like everybody likes the modern. Okay, great. All right, so excellent information. Oh, the work group. Yeah, absolutely. Excellent. Definitely the work group would work, the synergetic benefits. So you can also take that and apply it into whatever you need to do. But always think about the theory that you're doing. You should always know why you're doing something, because you have experts in each area. Very good. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead. Excellent discussion on theory. Now you have an understanding of the foundational theories, and you can go ahead and look for more information on that going forward. Okay, here we're going to talk about organizational structures. This isn't such a big part of it, but organizational structure, it's a hierarchy of the organization. It's the chain of command. And we've seen those organizational charts, I'm sure. There are all different kinds, but these are the main kinds. So a line organization is tall. The authority begins at the top and works down to the lowest level. That would be like the top-down approach. The line and staff organizations, that is similar to the line, but adds specialized staff in areas to assist the employees at all different levels. The matrix organization, that's a temporary work teams to accomplish specific tasks, and you would have more than one manager. Let's say you were a teacher in a program, but you taught business communications for one program, but you also taught you were a chef and you taught at the chef class. So you have two different roles. You have two different superiors to talk to. There's two different areas, right? So, you know, I was a CTE teacher. I did crossover a few times. So if anyone has that experience, you know what I mean? So, you know, thinking about having those groups and clusters of projects too. There's all different kinds of areas in that. The horizontal flat, it's really for smaller companies. Decisions are shared, there's less middle management, and the employees are held accountable. So those are some of the main areas of structures. I'm going to show you. Okay, this is a crazy big organization. This is UCF's College of Community Innovation and Education. And this is really just the, this isn't even the programs. This is just the staff. And we start with Dean Carroll, and she has an executive assistant here. And then there are other people in this area. Then you have the assistant dean of administrative affairs, And she's over those things. Then you have Alice Noblin, and she's the Assistant Dean of Undergraduate Affairs. Then you have Graduate Affairs, and then you have Research. Then there are centers down here and academic units. And here am I, where am I? I'm right here, Department of Educational Leadership and Higher Education. That's where my programs sit. So then there will be another, like, and within these other ones, really, there will be other organizational structures set up, right? Because there's more people within these units and whatnot. So that's a pretty big organizational structure. So it's really good for a leader to understand who does what in the organization, and just using this simple tool. And you can do it on PowerPoint. They have the organizational structure and the smart art. You can create that if you want. But it's really great to have everybody know who reports to who and where they belong in the system. Even if it's a small department, make one up. You know, it helps people. It helps people understand where they are on that chain of command. So the structure is very informative. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the vision and mission statement. And this one is a little interesting, so I'm going to give you some great examples. But it's really important, and you know, I've written and rewritten this vision statement and mission statement a couple of times since I've been here, because I really wanted to get it down. And then I think I got it to really, I'm going to show you mine, but I think I got it to a place where it's nice and clear and concise and has a great focus, okay? So the vision statement comes first. It should be future stated goal. It's kind of like a goal. I guess it's vision and goal. It could be the same thing, but it's a future statement. This is what I want to happen. You know, it has to be measurable. It's got to be shared. A group of people have to have this same vision. It's got to be motivating, nice and clear cut, and future leaning. Okay. So here's some examples. This is a picture of a visionless organization. They don't know which way they're going, right? So here's some examples of a really, what I like, short, clear visions. We have Crafts Foods to make today delicious. It's so simple. They're a food company. They just want people to love their delicious foods. And that's forward because it says today. I want to make today. It's not like yesterday or tomorrow, but today. Feeding America, they want a hunger-free America. How beautiful is that? Alzheimer's, a world without Alzheimer's. That's their goal. That's their vision. They want to get rid of Alzheimer's. Microsoft. Now this is in their early beginning years. I don't actually know what it is now, but I thought it was neat. A computer on every desk and in every home. That's their vision. That's what they wanted. And guess what? It happened, right? Almost, I think almost. And then Walmart, a seamless shopping experience at scale. Scale is Walmart. You know, Walmart's big, and they want their customers to have a seamless experience shopping. That's their goal. That's their vision. So nice, clear, concise, quick. All right. In the chat, tell me which one you like best. Feeding America. It's a beautiful thing. Craft. To make, yeah, I thought that was catchy. I like that one too. Yeah. A world without Alzheimer's. Everyone's choosing different ones, but they're beautiful. Alzheimer's. Yeah. To make today delicious. Yeah. Computer on every desk and in every home. Lana likes that one. A world without Alzheimer's. Make breakfast. You guys are like, you like them all. You like them all. Hunger-free America. To make them. Nobody's choosing the Walmart one though. Everyone likes the first three, the first four. Okay. Good job, guys. Microsoft, it sounds of equity. Yeah. Actually, a lot of these do, don't they? I mean, Hunger Free America, World Without, even Kraft Foods. I mean, good job. All right. Thank you for joining in on that conversation there, guys. Now, the mission statement. This is where it is a repeatable action that happens every day to make your goal and your vision come true, right? It explains who does what, concise, measurable, and meaningful. And this is where a lot of people get tripped up with the mission statement. They think that has to be this huge, long, outgoing thing. I'm going to look at a graphic really soon. It's pretty funny. But basically, the purpose of it is to make your vision happen with the employees that you have, right? So the vision is what your company wishes to accomplish with their products, services, and whatnot. The mission is focused. It's an inward focus. It's what you want your staff and your employees to do to make that mission happen. So I love this little graphic because this is this is the basic ones that everybody sees. The mission statement, right? They see this, and it all looks the same. We are guided by a relentless focus on quality, and another cliche, and vision and beauty, and we will strive to blah blah blah. And that is what it used to be in the long run. But it doesn't have to be that long. It could be nice and sweet and short, so people can remember it. You should be able to design your vision statement and your mission statement so that they are easy to remember. And you can walk down the hall in your institution and say, hey, Joe, what's the vision statement? You know, and they'll be able to recite it because it's memorable, it's short, and the same thing with the mission statement. So here are some relatively short mission statements. Marry e-commerce with our existing assets. That's Walmart's. To build the web's most convenient, secure, cost-effective payment solution. That's PayPal. To connect the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. That's LinkedIn. And Tesla, to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. Okay, I think my favorite's Tesla. But LinkedIn's pretty good. I like that one too. So you can see it gives it's to do this. It's kind of like an objective, right? If you think about it, because it's giving you those little ways to do it. So if it's important for PayPal to have a convenient website to pay things, they have to build it, right? They have to make sure it's secure. They have to make sure it's cost effective. So those are things that the employees have to do. Those are the guiding principles to carry out the vision. For my work at Florida DOE, I wanted to read that one. That was good. My vision statement has been better jobs faster. Oh, I love that. That's great, Lee. I love that. I didn't know that about it. That's perfect. And then Betty Lee, this makes sense because the mission statements are task focused. That's right. Nice, sweet, short. So let's see. I'm going to give you what I came up with. So these are my mission statements for the programs that I developed internally, and they are something, because I am the program, so they are ways for me to focus on what I want to do, and it guides my curriculum development plans. It guides my all the things that I have to do. It guides me into those things because I think these are the things I need to do for my students, right? The bachelor's degree program focuses on the pedagogy part. So all the classes in that degree are pedagogy and focused on CTE. So the purpose of training an effective teacher is to have an effective workforce, right? So my vision statement is an effective and efficient career workforce. That's what I want. But to do that, I need my students to be educators who successfully prepare students for college and career readiness. So that helps me guide the curriculum and the lessons and the resources and all the things related to the program, right? Now, the master's degree, that is leadership focused. And as a CTE leader, I really had to think and understand what it is I wanted special out of my students that graduate in a master's program. And I saw a couple of you guys in there who are graduates of my degree program, so you'll like this one. So the vision statement that I came up with is all CTE leaders are academic scholars, because it's important for me to train and prepare my leaders and graduates of my graduate program to be able to write scholarly articles, to be able to be scholars, to present at conferences, to be the leaders that people want come to them for CTE knowledge. So any of my CTE people, my students that are in here, you can go ahead and comment on how I am with your writing skills, and the APA manual that I make you guys study from cover to cover. But that's important for me, and it works. So the mission statement to get to that goal is to develop effective educational leaders who are career and workforce education experts. Because not only do you need to be able to present and write and be the expert, you have to have the knowledge of CTE. So all of my curriculum in those programs are based on CTE knowledge, history, issues, research. We talk about articulation agreements. There's classes on, trying to think of all the classes I have. There's classes on community partnerships. So all of these classes help me prepare my students to have the goal of being an academic scholar. So that's mine. What do you guys think about that? Any comments? We have about 10 minutes left. So if you guys want to talk about your vision statement and your mission statement, that makes sense because, yeah, Betty Lee. Betty Lee is a graduate of my program. Betty, say hi. And she wrote an article before she graduated. It's published. So love her. So Betty, tell everybody, how did I do with the writing aspect for you guys? Yep, that was something. So yes, we are very proud of Betty. She published an article in the Dental Assisting Journal. Many great success stories. Lana is a recent graduate and truly appreciate the curriculum. Oh, you're welcome, you're welcome. Then we have, who else? Courses, that's Michael. Courses include very helpful feedback on how to improve your scholarly papers. Right, because as a leader, everyone thinks that, oh, you have to learn all these other skills and stuff, but you do have to present. You do have to write reports. You do have to show your knowledge in other ways, in communication ways. So you're not only having the knowledge as a CTE leader, but you have to present that knowledge. You have to be able to write those papers. You have to be able to publish articles. Because the more you do that, and you have that wonderful resume, that curriculum vitae, if you will, then the more you become the expert and people will come to you. So becoming a leader is not just about experience. It's about experience, knowledge, and presentation, writing skills, and that type of stuff. So there's all that roundedness that happens, and especially in CTE, because CTE people have occupational experience. So this is important. Okay, guys. Whoop. So that we have 9 minutes left. It's been great reaching out and talking to you guys and having some interaction on the chat. Here's some questions that I have for you. If you'd like to answer them, please go ahead in the chat and I'll read them out. But really thinking about all the things we discussed today: leadership style, organizational management theory, organizational structure, mission statement and visions, all of those things together make you a certain type of leader. So what type of leader are you? What do you feel like you can accomplish with this knowledge? Was this webinar helpful to you? Let me know if you will use this information. That would be amazing. You'll get the PowerPoint, I believe, and this is being recorded, so that'll be up there. But what do you have any questions still? Are there any lingering questions that you want to ask me? Was this interesting? Which one was the most interesting to you? What aspect was the most interesting? So I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Interested in digging a little deeper into cooperative systems theory. Excellent. And then listening to my students' response. Let's see. This has been incredibly helpful for looking into and developing my leadership style. Thank you for your time, Dr. Martino. You are certainly welcome, Christopher. Another student of mine. We have courses are very helpful. Oh, that's right. That's Michael. Alexandra, new student of mine. How is CTE developing, adapting to the ever-changing workforce? That is a great question. And you can hang on to that question, Alexandra, because I'm sure you'll be able to dig into my classes and answer that. Adrian said, thank you, you are welcome. Which theory does servant leadership fall under? Well, that's a good one. Think about that. Which one falls under servant? And there is an actual theory on servant leadership. So you can certainly research that. Like I said, there are a lot of different theories out there. Those weren't the only ones. But thinking about that question, let's go back because it's an interesting question. Let me see. Service. I would think the neoclassical perspective would be more service-oriented. Human relations school that evolved into the behavioral school. You can check that one out. And Lana said this has been extremely interesting. And oh, thank you. I'm a fabulous presenter because my hair looks good, right? I'll need to relook at the presentation. That is awesome. Certainly get that doctorate, Lana. I am all for it. You keep going. Vanessa said, a chef and culinary teacher at Deerfield Beach. And by coincidence, I'm teaching my arts too about management. And we just saw about vision statements. So it will help you. Great. I am so wonderful that this helped. Leadership types were enlightening and we'll do further inquiry. Absolutely. That's all it is. This is about learning deeper. You're welcome, Matthew. Developing mission and vision in CTE departments, not just district as a whole. Absolutely. And even if it's just you, think about people who could be in your wheelhouse. Like, who are the ones that you go to? You can make a private organizational structure and say, you're at the top, and then you're like, well, I go to this person for this, and I go to this person for this, and this is my contact person. It could be something very private that you only use, and this will help you when you need to reach out to those other colleagues on different aspects of your job. You can do that differently. That's also a great thing to do. That's from Erin. Very helpful, interested in finding out how to help our district certified teachers continue finishing their education using work experience towards credits. That's an interesting one. Work experience towards credits. That would be something that you would have to find an institution that does that. I know that UCF does not articulate those work experience into college credits, but I have heard of some institutions that may do that. I am not sure which ones. That would be interesting to find out, but that might be a little bit of Google digging search for you. But might be more private schools. Great question. And Frank says, though I like your leadership styles, I find myself being more transformational, seeking to mirror the changes in technology and how we can better meet the needs of students. Excellent. That's another leadership style. Yep, transformational. Actually, they used to say that what was his name? I think it was Bernard was one of the transformational type of leadership theories that might fall under there. You can look into him a little bit more. Ignore the incomplete response. Listening to you and your students' responses about writing. Publishing one's writing emphasizes the biggest difference between online programs and face-to-face. That's right. I push that writing and the online programs at UCF I'm very proud of. So thank you. I'm glad you really found that helpful. And then Mary says that at times we can get so caught up in the fray that management theory or management style isn't a thought, but it needs to be. So glad this was discussed because it helps put things back in perspective. Actually, that's wonderful. That is really great that you were able to do that. Yeah, no, people don't really think about that because they just probably do a lot of these things. But understanding where it comes from and digging deeper can really help you be more confident in your choices, right? And Cindy says, great information, very interested. I'm a motivational leader. Excellent. Then you are X and Y management theory. Democratic, very helpful, improved leadership abilities, no questions. I'm so glad you liked that, Marilyn. Thank you. You're welcome, Cindy. Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate your time. And Lee said the recording for this presentation will be here at the bottom of the page in a few days, and he provides the link. Thank you, Christy and Nikki, transformational motivational leader. You are so welcome, Nikki. I'm glad you liked it, Michael. And thank you all. Check your community college, said Charles. And Betty Lee, thank you, Dr. Martino. I am thinking of returning to CTE, and this information has been very helpful. Excellent, Betty. CTE is the way to go. We are awesome. Alexandra says, thank you. Thank you. You are so welcome, everyone. I appreciate it all.